Hey guys, what is up? Lord Nick here, bringing you another One Piece related video. And in this video, guys, we will be talking about our deck list for Rebecca. We made an update for Rebecca for 4.5. I've been working with this list to try to be able to hold off the expected onslaught of yellow decks, and they've actually just turned into purple-green Dofis. So there might be an update to this list in the future, but at the time being, this list has done relatively well into each of those matchups. It can match up pretty well into the Dofi. It can match up very well into Kata. Whereas I would say that Rebecca kind of struggled with one of, if not both of these decks to a degree previously, she currently does not struggle to that degree. It comes down to being able to play her properly, whereas before it came down to just getting lucky. And I am not necessarily the best at playing her perfectly, and so that means that a lot of those mistakes that I do cost me in those matchups, but I can tell based off of how I'm playing that I know when those mistakes happen, which is good. That means that the deck itself has better potential to do well into those decks. So let's start off with the changes I've made. So I've cut the Kayas and Zephs completely from the list. I've also cut 3,000 Worlds from the list. The first two, I think, are tech choices. So, I mean, obviously, I can make tech choices how I feel, but the reason is that Kaya was a 2K in replacement of Suru or Tashigi, and the idea was to fill up my yard more to get the advantage of the cards that care about stuff in the yard. I wasn't running as many as I am now, so arguably, Kaya could still be useful in this list, but I don't have as much space, and I don't want to limit the tech cards that I have added in place of it, because of the value that I feel they bring over what Kaya did bring. Kaya brought some versatility and some hand selection choices. Meanwhile, these cards allow me to just play a bit more of a board control style. On top of that, I cut to the Zephs because while Zeph added a lot of recursive value and a lot of potential removal value and offered a big body, having earlier removal value with the card like Ulti is just better. So Ulti is one of the first cards that I have replacing cards, and Ulti replaced Zeph as a 4 of, and so the 3 Zephs and 1 Kaya got replaced into an Ulti essentially. The Ulti package is great with as much cost reduction as we have in this deck between Orlumbus and another card we added, which is Solomon. Ulti can hit 4 and 5 drops pretty consistently. It adds board state where I can put 1 Dawn on it and attack life, or I can put 1 Dawn on it and attack another character. Ulti has a potential to clear things. On top of that, Ulti allows me to choose to put it back in hand or bottom of person's deck. So if I wanted to, I can choose a character on my own side, like a Rebecca, put her back into hand, replay Rebecca, and get some more draw power going. Or I can use it to remove sticky things on my opponent's side. Ulti has been used in both of these ways multiple times how I've played this deck. I very much like this card, hitting it early, hitting it mid, hitting it late. It doesn't matter when I hit it, the card actually has a lot of value throughout the game. It becomes more of a 1K as the game goes later, unless I really start having a low hand, but my opponent has a low hand. I will play it as long as I have a Rebecca available. I will bounce that Rebecca and be able to play the Rebecca up to 2 times. If I say I draw into a Rebecca, I could play Rebecca, bounce Rebecca, play Rebecca, and I have now netted a card off of it, and then use Rebecca's ability to also go up. So I'll be now at 4 or 5 cards, whereas I might have had only 2 cards in hand previously. Pretty useful card, has a lot of versatility, solid card. I think that this card is very, very strong. The other card that I've really teched in as a 4 of is Solomon, and Solomon over Tashigi and Suru is pretty self-explanatory, and at least to me it is. With Tashigi and Suru, they're activatables where they do the reduction of cost is 1 time only. Solomon has repeatability, and he offers a lot of the same intangibles that Tashigi offered, which is where you use Tashigi's ability, she becomes kind of a pseudo blocker because people want to remove her so that she doesn't keep reducing stuff. Solomon does the same thing, except he gets an attack in with it. At worst case scenario, if you have Rush and they have a tapped character, Solomon then is treated like an Orlumbus, where I don't have to kill off one of my characters to do it, though. So overall, I think Solomon is a great include. He is searchable, and that adds a lot of value. The one downside compared to Tashigi or Suru is that he is not a 2K. We are not as defensive oriented as some other Rebeccas, so the fact that he is not a 2K is not as meaningful. Him being a 1K is generally good enough for him to be in the deck, and his searchability also adds to that. Sorry, I got a really weird cough in my throat there. Mm, mm. So the other two techs that I've made, I keep the two King Kong guns, but I've cut 3,000 worlds and replaced it with two more Truenos. Similar reason to Solomon. Truenos are searchable, 3,000 worlds are not. That being said, if we are at 15 cards in trash, this becomes a better card. The only scenario where 3,000 worlds becomes better is the fact that it bottoms the card opposed to destroying it. So KO effects. The only real KO effect that I'm ever worried about currently is Sparrow. And potentially, maybe if somebody's using like a Miss All Sunday blocker, but there's not enough KO effects where this card is worse. Like it really, there's very few scenarios where this card is just straight up worse than it. And there's many more scenarios where it's actually better. Just because of the fact that we're running Rebecca. If we were running, any other type of, if there was some other blue-black combination and it wasn't Dressrosa themed, yes, arguably this card could be worse. But we're not running into that situation, so Trueno is just very good. It's searchable. And the last tech card we've added in is Barrier, because while I do think that having 4 2Ks extra to replace something like Solomon, who has more removal capabilities, I think having those 2Ks is still important. Barrier offers that, and because we are constantly able to trash more, because Solomon can get us up to 2 cards every time you use a Solomon, much like Orlumbus, and a lot of our cards trash, then Barrier becomes more valuable. If you're at 15 or more, it's a Rad Beam. And it's often a Rad Beam. So this card is very good at being able to keep our things alive or being able to keep us alive. And so both of those situations are very good. It is searchable. Then using Luffy, putting it back in, means we get access to more of these, just like any other 2Ks. So the only other tech card is one that was in my previous list, which is Cavendish. Cavendish is a solid card, though as much as I like Cavendish because he adds board pressure, he is no counter to him, so you could arguably put Leos here instead of him. Leos are for earlier removal, but I do like Cavendish because he offers a similar removal that Leo has, but he doesn't require us to rest our leader, he does require us to rest our leader, but he also offers a 6 to 7k body as well, depending on how we're attacking with it. So he has the same removal that Leo has, but offers a bigger body for more of a cost, of course, but it's kind of the trade-off. What do you value more? Do you like having the counter and the cheaper cost for removal, or would you rather have a more threatening body? I personally went with the more threatening body. Sorry. I while reading the fact that he said to tap my leader, somehow still didn't recognize to me that that's what we're doing. So let's try to get in the lobby, see if we can test out this Rebecca real quick, see if we actually connect these. There we go. Okay, so we're against a purple Kaido. This is not necessarily the matchup I wanted to showcase this with, but we could still showcase it, right? Like, purple Kaido generally ramps into big things, so being able to remove big things consistently is going to be kind of important. So let's see, what do we got here? Now we're gonna mulligan that. That's not the best. Yeah, that's a better hand. All right, so we can deploy the Rebecca, or we can activate this. I think deploying the Rebecca is better on this turn. My God, was I wrong? Entering. We would have gotten a second Rebecca. We could have done 2 Rebeccas next turn. That would have been nuts. Okay, we draw. Oh, there's our Rebecca. So we're gonna deploy the Rebecca. Man, we are just not getting anything we need. We're getting so many duplicates right now. End turn. So we currently have a pretty bad draw, if you haven't noticed here. All right, he just ripped 2 cards from my hand because, yeah, I forgot that that's a card now that I need to play around. But that's whatever. He ripped a Luffy and a Sabo. He's coming for 5. A blocker will resolve it. Hey, look, we got our Luffy back. That's fine. Brought on. Draw. Alright, so... I mean, we can Trueno here. Pop this. I mean, we like to sit at 7, but he could just play another one this coming turn and do the same thing. I don't think we value having the extra card right now in place of just being out of law range currently, so you do have to play around law a bit more, which does make this deck a little more temperamental. Alright, let's see. So 1k coming at me. I hate using a 2K for this, but we'll use a 2K. I have to discard a card? Cool. We'll trash the ulti, that's fine. Alright, we're at 7. We don't have rush, so we are going to deploy. I don't like getting rid of almost any of these cards currently. This is hard. Solomon. We don't get rid of the Luffy for sure. We don't get rid of the barrier, so I guess that means we get rid of a Trueno. Activate Rebecca. There you are. Deploy. Finally got you. Enter. Alright, we're in an okay state now. Not ideal. Not an ideal hand. My opponent has a ton of cards. He's constantly making me discard crap because he's just playing a discard deck, I guess. Who knows? This might be a terrible matchup for us. I've never actually gotten a pair in this matchup, so it's kind of a bad one to try to showcase off of. We'll get it. It's fine. No blocker, 2K. Real good question. You want to use 3 cards to keep this alive? Do you value this card that much? We have how much? 14? Fine. We'll restand with Luffy. Putting 2 Luffys back. Probably the worst order I could do that in. And Trueno and you. Same offer. We care about the Kairos more than the Kongan at the moment because we need board state. So we're okay right now. Not the most ideal scenario to be in, but we want to try to eat some of the cards out of his hand currently. What is his -7 again? Trash one of your... Oh, trash one of my life. Nice. Okay. I mean, maybe Kaido got better here. Okay, so he's only coming in with 1K. No blocker. Solve attack. Pass it to me, buddy. Alright, we're at 10. Bottom you. Rebecca. I wish I could take Ulti. Sadness. I cannot take her. I mean, we could play this. This does give us a guy. Enter. It's fine. We're okay. You know what? We'll be fine just taking kind of an off turn. Because now he needs to take out this Luffy still. I mean, he can drop a second kid, I guess, here and get pressure. He could drop a 9-drop Kaido, get some pressure. 9-drop Kaido with Rush would be very annoying right now. Yep, there he is. For how much? 11? Oh, and he gets to pop the Sabo. That's very annoying. So he's coming at it for 10. So 2K goes to 9. No blocker, 2K. Resolve attack. Keep him alive. He has no other way of killing Luffy. No blocker, resolve attack. Thank you. Kongan? No, we gotta sell them. Alright, well. Lawyer Rebecca. Grab another Luffy. Probably should have taken a Gats there. It's fine. Oh, he added a Don back. Put back that. Rebecca on top of it. Saba below. 2K, a barrier. Got you. There we go. Enter. I mean, he can legitimately... So if he swings 5 at me, he's 7, right? So he could trash one of my life here if he wanted to. He'd put himself at nothing and just be having 5k attacks. But he could, theoretically. I mean, he could drop another kid, put himself down to 6, put himself up to a 6k, come at me, and I don't have a blocker for 6k. I have to eat a 6k, which is bad for me. But if I can hit a Kong gun this turn, I can Luffy clear him out. So he does a Magellan, huh? Sure. That doesn't do shit to me, bud. We have you. 9 remaining. This gets rid of 2 Dawn, right? Nine, so 7, that would be 10 for those, so we can't do those. Deploy Luffy. Attack your Magellan. Try to eat some cards out of his hand first. Or he lets it happen and I put 2 back and I don't care. Do we care about restanding a Luffy this turn? Probably not. No. Okay, so he's at 8, so he can't 9-drop. Not this turn, at least. He can trash a life and swing at life if he wants, but, I mean, he can... What is he swinging 5 at? Me? Okay. That it? Because now I'm threatening to kill him next turn with 2 Luffy's out. How does he respond? I mean, he still needs a 2k to survive it. 2k. Oh. It's just eating cards. Alright, we already activated you, right? Yeah. Pass turn? I mean, we don't have a whole lot to survive this turn. If he does a... I mean, he could do a rush one. Right, he could drop his Rush Kaido again. He could drop another one of those kids. I mean, those kids don't really do anything for him right now. I mean, we're saving our ability to stand these guys again because we don't think he has a whole lot of threat here. Okay, so he's dropping 2 of those. We have the ability with a Columbus to get through that. So No blocker, we use a 2K. There's our con gun. He has to block. And then I have two 10K swings coming at him as well. So, we win. We win. That's how Rebecca can win against this, guys. Like, even with a terrible start drop. Wait, he took them both? No shot he took both. Okay, return. One. It doesn't matter what we return at this point, because we're just restanding, attacking for 13 again. Eats block. Back 8. Yeah, like I can restand a second Luffy. Opponent wants a rematch. Well, we might rematch him here, but that will conclude our video, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you find this deck interesting and insightful. Yeah, I really didn't get to show off any of the tech cards, sadly. This really just played out like Rebecca. So, I mean, I didn't get to show off the Solomon. I didn't get to show off any of the tech cards. But hopefully at least you'll find the deck enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. This just ran like a Rebecca list. So, I mean, it still runs like a Rebecca list, but you just kind of, you know, you have more options potentially, I guess. I mean, you'll see in the future how it goes. Having the extra Truenos, I guess, did matter because I got to see and pick Truenos if I wanted to. But yeah, hopefully you guys like it. See you in the next video. And until then, have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, guys.